welcome back to the shop. It's been a few days. It's now January 1st, so Happy New Year. Probably a month late. The last episode we did the paint of we painted the tree shape, the silhouette onto the base, and there's still some bleed through under the masking that I need to clean up. The look is starting to warm up to me, and I have some ideas, but I'm letting them simmer. So in the meantime, while I'm deciding what I'm going to do there, we've got the bottom of the tabletop. I put the epoxy on to fill in any of the cracks that were there. And now that it's been profiled, there's a couple areas that are really tear out prone, so I don't want to use the plane on it. And so I figure, what better time to address the surface, and we'll just start sanding now. So I'm going to random orbit the bottom side. I'll probably only do to like 180, 150, maybe 150. I'll probably stop there. This side doesn't need, well, maybe I'll go up to 200, 220, I'm not sure. But anyway, there's a bunch of sanding lines from the drum sander in here. So two birds, one stone. I'm going to sand the epoxy down, and then I'll get these sanding lines out, and we'll just start getting the top ready for the final sanding. So we'll take it with that. A little music, and I got nothing. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to start sanding now. Okay, so after 60 grit, I've seen there's a few other spots I want to fill. So I'm just going to mix up a little more epoxy and some ebony sawdust and just take care of it now, because if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it later. It's going to be too late. So I might as well do it and get it over with. It means they'll have to dry overnight, but that is okay. Okay. Can't put it off any longer. We're gonna try as best I can to address this bleeding this paint bleed. Try to get a good scrape contact here. Hopefully I can scrape this out of there. I'm hoping. Trying to anyway here. I wonder if I should. I think this is dangerous to try to go sideways. Yeah. Just trying to get it so that it's not obviously a bleed. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. You can see what I'm doing here? Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I've also got some ideas about how to handle just how stark and abrupt this black is. And I think what I'm going to try to do is darken the oak itself, the raw wood, just add a tint of some kind to darken the raw wood enough so that it makes the black less stark. It's the best way I can describe it. Make the black less prominent. Take less of the attention. There we go. The worst of it is out of there now. Alright, well, it was a bit tedious, but in the end, it was done. It got done. It's pretty well cleaned up. My next step, I think, is to throw a layer of shellac down. Just cover the whole thing in shellac and see how much darker the oak gets just with that. And then, if it's not dark enough, I'll do a tint. I'll tint the shellac with some trans-tint dyes and do another coat, and we'll just sort of sneak up on the darkening of things just to make everything sort of attempt to play well together. So I'm going to move you over to where I'm going to spray the shellac next here. Alright, so for better or worse, we're ready to throw a coat of shellac down on this. It's pretty thin, so it should go on pretty nice. I'm just going to get after it here. Alright, well, that coat of shellac, it did darken things a bit, not quite enough. I want to go a bit darker. But it's also getting a little too shiny, so I'm going to knock it back with some sandpaper. So we're going to get back to the base here and put some color together into this bit of shellac. And I've got dark vintage maple trans tint, which is number 6009. And I know that from when I did the guitar, it takes a fair bit to really get it dark. So I'm going to drop in a bunch. So just do it drop at a time here. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drops in what looks like about 3 ounces. Might be enough. We shall see. It's pretty dark. I think we're going to give this a go. I have to stir it. So I have to stir it without spilling all over the place. There's 2 holes to plug. There we go. Yeah, that's probably going to be dark enough. I just want to add a little darkness to it. It does not need to be a ton. What I'm going to try first is I'm going to do a quick little spray on the back, because I plan to completely opacify the back side of the base. So we're going to see if this is dark enough real quick, and then if it is, we'll go for it. No, 10 drops was not enough. It was barely because I know this coat's going on really thin, so we're going to go a lot more. We'll do another 20 drops. It's that far off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Get some air in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really going to lay down some color. So that is going to be a lot darker. It's 30 per ounce, so now it's 10 drops per ounce. That makes more sense actually, now that I ponder it with my brain. Make sure we're plenty mixed here, and we'll go for it again. Nowhere near dark enough still. Well, it's darker, but it's not dark enough. I'm going to add 10 drops of black, and that will be it. It'll be whatever that color ends up being. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. That should be plenty dark. Yeah, it was a little yellow, the lightness, so that's why I went with black here. It'll be a little fuller in its darkness. Just make sure we're well stirred here. Alright, now I think we're going to be alright with whatever comes out of here. It's definitely dark, so I'm going to start spraying now. Good morning. Welcome back to the shop. So yesterday, or the last time you saw this, or the last episode, was getting some colors on this and darkening the oak so that the black didn't look so stark. And I gotta say, I'm a lot happier with this than I was before. The shellac by itself wasn't quite enough, but overall this whole thing came out really good. I think I'm pleased with it. I'm very pleased that it's not so stark. The black is not as stark. Now it's just sort of a part of it. It's just a piece. It sort of held it together, or brought it together, or something like that. So this color is pretty much good, and I'm going to call the whole base essentially done. I may opt to throw something else on top of this. It is only shellac right now. I'm not sure just yet. Maybe I'll throw a bit of lacquer on it. Not entirely certain. I actually like how it feels right now. There's a couple of spots that are a bit shiny, so I might want to knock that back just a little bit. But overall, I really like how the color came out. I can actually live with this just fine. This turned out acceptably. I think I can absolutely live with what we've got. So. Alright, so we've sanded that all nice and smooth. Most of the epoxy is gone. It does feel like it got some in the pores, which was sort of what I was aiming after. I'm just going to rub this down with some denatured alcohol real quick and get a view of how well it's going to look. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Yes, I'm going to like this. Definitely going to like this. You see that? Did you see that? I'll do it again. Do one more quickie. Yeah, that looks really good. So when the finish goes on, this is going to look delicious. And I'm about ready to throw the finish on this thing. we're going to start putting some shellac down on this here surface. And I just need to work out the maneuvering that I need to do to make this work. I think if I get like that, and then spray the top, I think that'll work. Yeah, that's how I'll do it. Just spray here and then flip it over and set it down. Alright, so I'm going to gear up and get ready to spray. Okay, shellac is dry. I think I'm only going to do the one. I think it's fine, there's plenty there. I don't want a huge, massive amount of film on this. I want mostly oil, so I'm going to come back now with my tung oil here. Send it around this side. I'm going to start on the bottom. And I just want to get a coat of tung oil on here, and I'm going to apply it fairly liberally, wipe off the excess game here. And this cup is rather full. Just see about not spilling it all over. Yeah, we're going to need a lot more than that. Got to get my rag soaked up here. Thankfully, this will take overnight, so. Okay. Six more. Get a decent amount into the back of this. Oh, it's popping so nice. The grain looks fantastic. Okay, so one final thing while I'm waiting for oil and things to cure is I wanted to make a better foot, a not cheap looking foot for the bottom. So I've got some brass in here. I think this is 3/4. I'm going to turn it down to a 1/4 thread, and then we'll maybe knurl. I think I might knurl the outer rim of the foot, and so we'll do with that as well. So I'm just going to start turning this down to a 1/4 inch or thereabouts. Alright, so I don't know if you saw, I don't know if I filmed the cutting of the relief, but we cut to diameter. I've got my threading tool in place, it's all aligned, I'm all set up. I'm about to do a quick little scratch cut to make sure that I've got it in the right settings. So we're just going to find 0 real fast. First we find the 0 point. Okay. So there's my 0 point. I keep going back to that 0 now. Now we're at that 0, and we are set to find the thread dial at any odd number. Let's say 7. Boy, that moves quick. Okay, that's clean. Let's check it with our thread gauge. Is it in fact 20? It is in fact 20. So we are set. We can do our threads now. Let's pull out, go back to 0, go in about 20 thou, And on an odd number, go for it. Boink, pull back out, pull back over, back to 0, go in a little more, any odd number. Pop it, come back, go back over. This is the routine as hit back to 0, go back another 20 or so, 10,000, probably more like 5, and go. And stop, pull back out, head back over, zing it back to 0. Another 10 thou or so, and get it. And stop. And we can just keep doing that until we have ourselves a screw.